Did you know Marvel had a real-life superhero? Everyone knows Marvel is the big blockbuster machine with a total of 22 films grossing more than $17 billion. But the going wasn't always this smooth for Marvel. After the comic books bust, Marvel filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1996. The company was in shambles. After coming out of bankruptcy, it had $250 million in debt and the company's bank account balance dropped to $3 million, barely enough to cover its cash needs. And then in walked Peter Cuneo. Cuneo served as both CEO and CFO as he said it allowed him to stay close to the numbers. As CEO, Cuneo imposed a culture of strict financial discipline. He made sure that the employee incentives are tied to cutting costs across the company. But there was one place Cuneo refused to cut corners: talent. He believed that sacrificing talent to cut costs was the main reason for Marvel's decline in the 1990s, and he was not going to repeat that mistake. Marvel licensed various pieces of its IP as the company tried to bail itself out. Marvel sold the film rights to the popular X-Men series to Fox and Spider-Man to Sony. The company continued to issue thousands of licenses over the decade, covering everything from clothing to school supplies to toys and, of course, more movies. Through licensing, Marvel was able to outsource the expenses to the licensees while keeping a low-cost revenue stream for itself. But after looking at the success of X-Men and Spider-Man movies, Cuneo started to wonder what if Marvel took a crack at this movie-making business itself. They had the talent and the know-how. Cuneo thought that by producing the movies, they could keep all the profits themselves rather than getting a small chunk of it. To finance the new venture, Marvel made their most transformative move. They took on a $525 million loan from investment firm Merrill Lynch and brought Marvel's movie-making operation in-house. There was a huge gamble as Marvel offered up characters like Thor and Captain America as collateral. If the films didn't make money, those superheroes would suddenly belong to the bank. Marvel's first solo movie venture, Iron Man, with a budget of $140 million, hit the screen in 2008. At the time, the movie was a huge risk as Iron Man was far from main character for Marvel, and Downey had a tainted reputation, to say the least. But when Iron Man hit the theaters, it was a global hit. Audiences fell in love with the story of the turbulent but good-hearted Tony Stark. The movie went on to gross more than $585 million, a nearly 300% return. Finally, in 2009, Disney saw the potential in Marvel and bought it for $4 billion. From bankruptcy to a $4 billion buyout, Marvel has quite a story. And there is no doubt that Peter Cuneo was the real-life superhero who made it possible.